welcome back. This is part 3 of the Sci-Fi crate, and I forgot to model this little bit up here. So let's get started on that. I'm going to go ahead and just create a box. And this box I'm just going to scale up so it's just about touching the edges here. Let's keep going. Maybe it looks like it's very close to the edge of those. So let's go look at it from the top, and helpful to have wireframe unshaded. Okay, maybe narrow it here. Looks like it might be like right there. Yeah, so let's move this down, see if it's working. Now this one feels a little bit longer, and the reason is because this is more square, so I'm going to do that a bit. And let's experiment. I'm going to move this over and I'm going to scale it down some more and bring it over here. So I think the crate is a little too long. We could make this a little more rectangular, but I don't think it's a rectangle. I think this is mostly a square. So I think we need to bring this end over. So that could be a little tricky. Let's think about how to do that. I'm going to press X, and what X does is snap to grid. I want this to be in the center, and this is going to kind of help guide how things are going to change on my crate. So what I think I want to do to make some adjustments is I'm going to grab these, grab my straps and my buckles, and what I'm going to do is go over to my side view, and I press, let's go with Control 1, that's solo mode. And I'm just going to grab everything by faces and just delete. There we go. And let's press F8. And I'm going to go ahead and grab the straps and the buckles again over here. And remember, I used Command, but I think it's Control on the PC to grab two things from the outliner. And I'm just going to go from top, turn off. Remember, turn off solo mode. That's Control 1. Oh, that's not the top. That's from the side. The top. And I'm just gonna kind of move this strap in just to get a feel. Actually, let's grab the strap and the crate, and let's just move these over. And oh, see that? We got this handle that's also going to need to be moved. So let's press 4 and grab the handles too. Let's just grab all of this, but not the box. So the box we do not want to grab. Let's just shift grab this. All right, and we're just going to move all of this over. I think that is going to be more like the width of our box, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my crate and press Control 1. That puts us in solo mode. And then I'm going to shift right click and I'm going to insert the edge loop tool. And this time I'm just going to reset it and just throw a line in. Because what I'm going to do, oh, you know what, maybe, let's do a different thing. I'm going to just use the multi-cut tool. Because again, we got those bent surfaces, right? So shift right click, grab the object, shift right click, multi-cut tool. And I'm just gonna shift and drag a line down the middle. It doesn't really matter where it is, just as long as it's, close to the middle. I'm gonna delete one side of my crate. And then I'm going to shift right click, grab the vertices. You can press 4 and see all the vertices you've created. It looks like 36. And I'm just gonna use my move tool and my snap to grid tool, which is holding down the X. And then see how this snaps to the grid? This slightly darker line in the center, see if I press 4, this intersection right here, this is the center of our grid. And it's a key when you are mirroring geometry on the world axes, you really want to make sure you're keeping everything dead center in the middle of your scene. So that's why I'm going about it this way. And I might go ahead and use this, see this pivot point? I can tap D, and I can hold down V and just snap it. So now the pivot point for my crate is also in the center. Okay, so now that I've done that, I may want to go over here to my handles, and let's go ahead and press Control 1. And I'm going to grab this by the face and just delete these handles and press F8. And so now that I've made those adjustments, I'm going to have to go ahead and fix up my geometry. So this guy, I want to turn him off for a little bit. So when you click on an object and you see it in the channel box, I can just go to visibility and type off. That's another way of just turning off something. It's a little bit more tedious than just putting it in display layer, but I don't want to put it in display layer yet. So we're just going to turn off its visibility. Okay, so I'm going to grab my crate. I'm going to shift right click and I'm going to mirror all over again. And this time I'm going to mirror on the x-axis, and I do want the borders to be merged, and mirror. Here we go. Cool, cool. Let's grab that center edge again. So let's grab this and grab that edge loop. So, oh, what is happening? Oh, I still have the mirror tool on. All right, grab the edge, double click, shift right click, delete edge, very important. Go back into object mode. All right, now I'm going to grab the straps and the buckles. Cool, cool. Shift right click. Let's mirror geometry. And again, it's okay to combine them, but we do not want to merge them. Mirror. Okay, cool. So we got our buckles and we've got our straps. And let's fix the handle too. So shift right click, mirror, and same settings. So you don't have to go into the box or anything. All right, so this actually does look like better proportions to the reference art. So if you make a mistake, just go in and fix it. I just walked you through one way to do that. So let's click on the cube in the outliner. Again, if you don't know where the outliner is, it's this bottom button. And let's turn the visibility back on. Pew! All right, and now we're going to go ahead and use the scale tool to just sort of crunch this in a bit. Okay, let's go underneath this box and grab this bottom face. Did I already do that? No, it's not. So go over here, right click, faces, grab that bottom face and delete it, because again, we're not going to be seeing it, so why have it out? All right, and I'm going to go ahead and move this down until it hits the crate. Let's see what we got. It looks like this box does come up higher than these straps, but maybe not by that much. Maybe more like that much. Yeah, that looks about right. Maybe a little lower. Yeah, I think that might be right. Or maybe this is below it. I can't tell from the art. I guess I'm just going to do the best guess on this one. All right, so another thing I noticed with this is it looks like it's a little beveled on the sides. Yes, I would say it does look like it's a little beveled. So one thing I could do instead of beveling is I could just grab the face of this box and I can hold down my, I can grab my scale tool and I can hold down shift and I can just extrude inward and push this up a little. So that's just kind of another way to get that bevel effect, especially on a super simple shape. All right, let's get out of this by pressing Control 1. And now I feel like we got that little box on top ready to rock. So once I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and just freeze my transformations and delete my history. And let's get to shaping this box. So it looks like we've got this kind of weird zigzaggy thing going on in the center. Maybe it'd be a good idea if we just turn stuff off for a while and just be working on this box. So let me think, how would be the best way to go about this? Let's begin with our handy dandy insert edge loop tool. Oh, it's preset. I'm sorry, let me undo it. I keep thinking that I already have my equal multiplier on. I didn't. So I'm going to go click that. And now this will show up right in the middle. Cool, cool. And I think what I want to do is go back in and create 4. And let me show you why I'm going to create 4 of these. All right, so these outer 2 kind of represent this edge here and here, and these center 2 represent the edges down here, even though we haven't adjusted it yet. So I'm going to double click this edge, hold down shift, and double click this edge. So I've got the 2 middle edges. That's 12 edges total if you look at the poly count menu. Press 4 and you can see through it, and that we've got just what I have selected. And I'm just going to go use my scale tool and I'm going to push this out a little bit, just a little, and then I'm going to grab this edge and bring it down. See that? Now it kind of matches the reference art a little bit better. All right, and now what I want to do is, honestly, I would like to have another edge here because there's going to be a gap that I sculpted, right? So let's see here. Let's grab the Insert Edge Loop tool, and this time I'm going to reset it, and I'm just going to draw in an edge like that. Cool, cool. Nice. And like I did with the crate earlier, I'm just going to grab faces, click this face, hold down shift, double click, and this time I'm going to shift right click and use my extrude face tool. And I'm going to click on the blue arrow and just drag it in. And like before, even though it's a small thing, I hate how this extends out further. So I'll grab it by the vertices, move tool, grab it by its x-axis and snap upward so it matches those vertices there. And I'm going to do the same on this side. Hold down V, snap up, and there we go. And I'm going to press F8. Back into object mode. Looks cool. All right, I'm going to press Control 1. Oh wait, I'm not in solo mode. I just have display layers off. Let's see how it looks with the crate itself. Yeah, I'm feeling that. I'm gonna go ahead and say File, Save Scene As, and I guess I'll just call this the top box because I don't really know what that is. So I'll just call this cube top box. Low, because it is low poly. Really important that all the lows remain lowercase. You can capitalize the first word, but the suffix should remain lowercase, and we'll get into that when we talk ZBrush later. Not ZBrush, Substance Painter later. Okay, so next thing I want to do is these little boxes out here, these little kind of handly thingies. Let's go ahead and just knock those out real quick. I'm going to add the top box to its own layer real quick as well. So let's click this, and we'll call this top box. Save. Okay, cool. And grab this and make sure I've deleted history. And let's go ahead and create a new cube and bring it up, because this is going to be very simple. I'm just going to go grab this new cube and I'm going to click its faces, and I'm going to delete the one on the side and the one underneath, holding down shift and delete, because you're not going to see these sides, so why does it matter if it's there or not? Let's just do what we can to limit our, keep within our polygon budget, which for this assignment I said was 1,000 faces, and we're at 819, so we are a healthy way away from crossing that limit for the low poly. So it looks like this one is going to be kind of close over here, about there. It looks like it's kind of good position, I think, on as far as height. Let's change the width because it's a little bit more narrow than that. And also it seems to me like it's, oh shoot, keeps doing that. All right, let's click this and let's go ahead and go into solo mode, Control 1. There we go. It seems to me, so I'm going to grab this by the face, press Control 1 to bring us back in, that this is a little bit smaller. So I'm just going to grab the middle. It's very subtle, but I also think this makes it a little more interesting to have a little bit of tilt and a little bit of shrinkage, just to add a little bit of rhythm to that instead of being super rigid. Yeah, okay, cool. I think I like that. And it looks accurate as far as position. So maybe a little more to the left. Ah, no. There we go. Just a smidgen. And then again, freeze transformations, delete history, shift right click. Let's start mirroring the geometry. It can of course be combined. And the first time it's over the x-axis, so next time we got to do it over the z. Boom, now we have 4 of them. Let's delete history. And let's call these, what is that even? They're not quite buckles. Box thingies. Yep, that's the technical term we're going to go with. And I'm going to drag this up, middle mouse drag this into my crate group. And I'm going to call it box. Actually, that's not going to work. Maybe, what are those? Are they like hinges? Are they like, I really don't know. We'll just call them boxes. Low. And we can add these little boxes, since they seem to be a part of the part of this top box. Let's just add it to the top box layer. All right, so now we've got all of that handled. Now we are officially done with the low poly. Thought we were before, but then that was a bit of an oversight. Now we are truly done with the low poly, and next time in our next tutorial we are going to duplicate this low poly mesh, and then we are going to fence the geometry so that it looks really good when we smooth it. Because if we were to smooth it right now, press 3, remember 3 is smooth preview, it does not quite look like our crate, I would say. I'd say that looks like our crate if it were left in a hot car and melted. Now we want it to look more like this, so we're going to talk about how to do that next time, all right?